This evening I'm going to share a poem about my beloved mother, who died 17 years ago on August 13th. Funny, it feels sad. I wasn't there either. Mom died so many times you could never know. I would fly down to Florida and then she'd be fine. One time after I flew down to Sarasota, I'm kneeling by her bed at 5 a.m. before I leave for my early morning flight. And I'm kneeling there, trying to commune. I don't think I still dare lie in bed and hug my mother. Too much of that between us. And Evelyn Koran, my mom, wakes up at 5 a.m., looks at me, and says, with a smile on her face, "You almost missed Michael. You almost missed Michael." Now, I'm still not sure what it means, but I remember this. In part because of the challenges between my mother and I almost missed myself. Very hard to learn how to be me. But apparently when she says you almost missed Michael, it means she didn't. And since she's saying it to me, I didn't. It's very nice not missing me. Well, this is the poem I wrote to commemorate the day my mom died. I had a dance lesson that afternoon, and I was very angry. I'm not sure why, but I was angry. My wonderful dance teacher, Patrick Crowley, said, "Get the anger out, pound the couch." I did. And one of the rare times a session with him didn't help, at least while the session was going on. And he left, and I was still stuck with this anger or fury. And without thinking much, I took a big glass jar, got my hammer from the other room, put the jar in a pot so I wouldn't hurt myself, and took the hammer and bang! I crushed the glass jar. And then I feel okay. Pounding wasn't enough. I needed to break something, like in a Jewish wedding. If you've attended, there's a wine glass, often wrapped in a cloth napkin, and the bridegroom stamps on it to the cheers of the crowd. I'm sure it's coming attractions for him breaking through to his new bridegroom. Well, with my mother, it was death. And what was I breaking through to? As my therapist says, I don't need to understand it. It worked. I feel better after breaking the glass jar in a pot. Something I can't even now, these many years, explain more than that. You wise listeners might understand more than I can. Well, here's the poem you've been looking at. I will cause breath to enter bones. Ezekiel. Hitting me repeatedly. Made painful ecstasy. Numb in mind and body. I crack glass when you're gone. Imagine breaking bones, moving us to scream, moan. So marrow's healing frees you to breathe. Me to breathe. So this was my way, writing a poem, to begin to understand why breaking the jar with a hammer felt so freeing, so healing. Let's look at the poem and see what we could make of it. I hope I can feel your presence. That might help. Soon, I hope you can be invited to join us at CCTV, so it could be a more back and forth week. I will cause breath to enter bones. Ezekiel, as many of you biblical readers, Bible readers know, saw dry bones, and then they began to dance. Hope for all of us, feeling dead during the pandemic. Breath, air, wind may help revive us. If it's free of COVID especially, we have to be careful how we get our breath and air and wind. And can we feel breath enter bones? I can feel breath caress my bones. I hope you're doing this at home. Feel breath caress your bones, our bones. Can it enter it? Or maybe the poem begins to answer that. Numb, oh no, hitting me repeatedly made painful ecstasy. This, alas, was the touch between my truly beloved mother and I when I was a baby and growing up. When I came out of the womb, my mother said it was the happiest years of her life when she was pregnant with me. She was adopted, so she never knew her mother, never. But having me in the side made her happier than ever, ever, ever. Maybe ever, even more than she could dream. So I must have been wombed well with such happiness. When I go down to feeling nothing and it feels peaceful, I might, if I dare, imagine being in the womb of my mother and happy there, because as soon as I was born, slapped by the doctor as they did then, and brought home, my parents were following the parenting guideline by a behaviorist psychologist named Watson, who said, don't spoil your child. Feed him at the end of every 4 hours, but not between. My father was kind enough to tell me this when I was 50. And he said, you screamed. We wanted to not have you be a spoiled child. We waited till the end of the 4th hour and we tried to feed you. And you, Michael, refused. Good for me in a way, hungry as I was, a few days old. I did not want to be put on that schedule and refused in the only way I could. A refusal unto death when I was hungry. I said no to the food. And my father holds me down, and my mother forces some formula down my throat that I did not want. So this is how I come into the world. No wonder I've been numb in body and mind for so long. A good defense. Can't hurt me. I'm numb. But you continue to hit me, dear Evelyn. As I was growing up, I had a younger brother. When he teased me and I hit him, you hit me repeatedly for years and years and years. I'm going to kill you. I hope you have children like you. You stinking shut-up rat. Women were trapped in those days. My mother wanted to work. She loved selling baby clothes. So there was some painful ecstasy in being hit. What a way to program your child to be a sadist and a masochist. This sounds close to ritual abuse. I could add more, but maybe not yet. So hitting me repeatedly made painful ecstasy. Numb in body and mind, and I get numb again. When you die, Evelyn Koran, recalling all the numbness. And to break through the numbness, I crack glass. And that helps. Feelings can flow. A troubled man that has to have his feelings flow that way. But it was safe. The glass jar was in a pot. So the feelings flow, and imagine breaking bones. We do. So it's my bones that I imagine I'm breaking, and yours, Mom. It moves both of us to scream, as I silently did when I was hit again and again, and then to moan. They're different. Moaning is after some grief in it. So marrow's healing freeze. So if we can get to the healing of our marrow, which makes our red blood cells life, if we could get there one way or another without hurting anyone, including ourselves, wow, healing. I'm back to primal me, bones and marrow, dead or alive, and I'm breathing, like Ezekiel said. Breath is entering dry bones. And I imagine or hope, Evelyn, dear mother, beloved mother, that you are free to the breeze. As an old Jewish belief, that if we pray or remember, pray for someone who's deceased, someone who's died, or remember them fondly, those prayers or those memories are energies that help the departed rise to the skies. So maybe breaking the glass, reminding me of broken bones. I was hit so many times, but my beloved mother, Evelyn Koran, stopped hitting me when I was a teenager. She did other things we won't talk about now, but she stopped hitting me because my bones, my adolescent young man bones, hurt her hands. Thank you, bones, for hurting her hands. And at least I wasn't hit anymore. And I never, ever had a desire to hit back. One way of trapping people is making their rage so huge, so murderous, that it's too scary to feel. You become a Mr. Goody Two Shoes. Hi, Mom. How was your day? I love you, Mommy. Not that I said that, but I tried to be loving and kind. Buy you a bike. Bring you roses when I visited Dad in the firehouse. The rage was too big to handle. But breaking glass in a pot with a hammer, oh my, that is freeing. You, I hope to breathe with this poem prayer for you to rise, Mom. I had kidney stone last week. It felt like pain level was about an 8. And my dear friend said, you give it a lower number. People would have given it much higher. It was painful. I didn't want to do anything. Eat, drink. The only thing I wanted to do was talk on the phone with friends. And this last August 13th, my kidney surgeon calls and tells me the kidney stone has passed. And that's the day you died, Mom. I know you're watching over me now. Thank you so much. I know you are sorry for the things you said and did, and tried to care for me, and very financially helped me buy 2 condos. Very little money, $6,000 for one, $24,000 for another. But I couldn't have bought these bargains when our co-op went condo if it wasn't for you, Mother. What a gift. That's forever giving. Freeing you to breathe. And me, to breathe. Finally to breathe easy breaths. I will cause breath to enter bones, Ezekiel, hitting me repeatedly, made painful ecstasy, hitting me repeatedly, made painful ecstasy, numb in body and mind. I crack glass when you're gone. Imagine breaking bones, moving us to scream, moan. Imagine breaking bones, moving us to scream, moan. So, marrows healing, freeze, you to breathe. Me to breathe. Well, thank you, Evelyn Korn, if you've joined us today as a ghost. I hope and pray you're doing well. Thank you for giving birth to me and cradling me in your womb and helping me have 2 condos so I can survive as I turned 80. What a gift you are forever giving